I think we've been lied to for a really long time. Hi everybody, this is Roger in Kansas City. A few months ago I made a video called Grand Canyon Hidden Civilization Cover-Up. It was about a plane crash, or rather plane collision, over the Grand Canyon back in 1956. This is the area right here. It's the confluence of the Colorado River and the Little Colorado River. Two passenger planes, United Airlines and TWA, hit each other and fell into the canyon. The United Airlines plane crashed into this embankment here, and 1.3 miles away, the TWA flight crashed here. This area of the Grand Canyon is known as Marble Canyon and is also part of the Navajo Indian Reservation. There were many reports from that time. The first photograph we're going to look at is from a newspaper, and it's very telling. The first photograph we're looking at comes from a July 2nd, 1956 edition of the Detroit Free Press. I will have links to all of the photos available in the description section of the title page. Let's go ahead and look at the first enhancement of this photo. This is Char Butte. It's 6,300 feet from the river to the top where the United Airlines plane crashed. This area here is about 500 feet, if that gives you some reference. The first thing I noticed in the newspaper before I looked at anything closely was this strange object down here. That certainly doesn't look like it belongs there, especially in 1956. So let's go ahead and look at a larger version of this picture. Here we are at the top left of the butte, and it's a butte of a butte. As you can see, there's a number of figures, and believe me, we'll get to the more specific things, but I just want to show you what's up here first. And I have some theories on how they put this up there and take it down. But let's start here. This is very interesting. As you can see, we have a huge figure of what appears to be a man. We have this large black figure here, but it also looks like a dark silhouetted figure of a person. We have this large statue here, a number of large megalithic statues. This would be probably in the 400-foot range, 500 feet or so here. Let's go back this way real quick. I've looked at pictures like this before, and for instance, I think you can see a face right here. Let me go ahead and highlight that just a little bit real quick. You can see that looks like a face. The reason I have so much trouble bringing this out in an enhancement is because one idea I have is that these are projections, so it's pretty hard to darken light. But just like over here, take a look at this guy. Kind of devilish looking. There's his little devil tail right there. Let's move on. Now we get into areas like this. Quite a few things to point out. I want to highlight this one area because it makes it easier to see. We'll talk about this for a second. This kind of brings out some detail that gets lost. But you can see what almost appears to be like a guy in this pilgrim-looking hat with a cross back here with many humanoid figures all around here. We go over here. We have this really large statue, probably 300 foot easily. We have a little guy, yeah, 100 foot or so guy here. Now, I don't know if these are, like if this guy's a living being or it's just a statue. I think that's a statue. These are drawings. This light could be just reflection from sunlight, but again, it could be projected light that's producing this. Move over here. That guy's pretty serious looking right here. I'm sure you can see him. Here we have three figures right here. This is interesting. This all through here. These almost look like dancing figures. We have a large person up here. More people figures. Let's go over here. This is very interesting. This is the impact area for United Airlines flight. And let's go ahead and highlight this. These figures, I call them figures, statues, are well over 500 feet. And you can see them. And they're pretty eroded. They've been there a long time. I'm certain if you were to go there now, they are probably there unless they have been blown out by the National Park Service. And this face is interesting because this is not an Egyptian thing. This looks almost like a cartoonist drew this. But they're in all these locations. Grand Canyon being one of the largest locations where they're located. Mount Zion, not Mount Zion, but Zion National Park is another major area that I've yet to get to, but wait till you get a load of that. But you can see these large, I mean, it's like, it's just gigantic. And for instance, let me change colors real quick. If this is 500 feet, the Statue of Liberty is about here. Oh, hang on. It's about right in here. The Eiffel Tower is about 900 feet. It'd probably be about here. And the heads on Mount Rushmore, they're about 60 feet high. We'll say they'd be about that big. If that gives you any idea of how massive this is. Okay. Here we have this strange looking structure. I don't think it's a creature. It might be a funny Spider-Man, but it looks more like it's built for some reason. Here we are down by the river. Here is almost something that looks like a temple. And let me just show you what that is. All of this. Over here, two large figures. This is interesting. I'm not sure if that's a rock formation or an actual structure of some sort. It might be a rock formation on that one. Here's something interesting here. These little guys all through here. Let me go back up. kind of where we started. It was right here. Okay, so we'll leave that. Let me make this a little smaller here. That's Char Butte. Now I'm going to do a close-up of this area over here for the next two pictures. There you are. This photograph was taken by one of the recovery planes. It's looking straight down upon the impact area, which is right here. If you recall, I said, those giant statues were about 500 feet tall. They are right here in this area. Then let me make it a little bit bigger. And we'll start going through this. You can see quite a bit of relief work on this spire, this end of the embankment. We see carved faces throughout here, humanoid shapes, more humanoid shapes. Let's go up here. This is very interesting. Let me get the highlighter going. This big box shaped structure of some sort right here. We have more structure all throughout here. In fact, this is all, you can see this, all some huge structure. Let me go down some. Again, we can see big, boxy development going on down here. This is the most interesting thing. I'm just going to say it. Is that a flying saucer right there? Is that its garage? Does it just kind of go zoop and land here? And then they get out of their flying saucer and they go down this tunnel that's apparently on legs, and that is an entrance and an exit to that area and into the mountainside. Make it a little smaller. I could go on for days on something like this because there's so much to look at. One last thing on this picture is this fish hook looking device. And I will get my little highlighter out. And it's kind of connected over to this area where the spaceship is. Right here. And I guess this is like the lounge and the restaurant and all that. You know, I think I missed this in history class. And just real quick, we'll look over here. Again, we see all types of development, structural development. You can see part of those faces right there that we were looking at on that first picture. It's an astounding area, and they don't let anybody in there. Let's go to the last picture. This is the same area we were just looking at. We're just a little bit off to the left. So we were more straight on looking at it. We're off on this side now. Again, the tall statues, you can see part of it here and here, up through here. Let me make it bigger. This is where it gets interesting. One more. This large, curved, smooth item. That's certainly not a natural formation in a canyon. You have a large figure, and I think these are all relief carvings. All through here. Up this way. I found an area like this in Patagonia where the whole mountainside was just carved with these relief characters. This guy he gets my attention every time. He's kind of devilish looking. There's his girlfriend right there. They're out on a hot date. Go on up. We see all this relief carving. Looks pretty ancient to me. I can't begin to guess who did it, but let's just say it was a pre-human race. And I'm not saying that the pre-human race is gone. I think this is still an active area. I don't know if you can pick this up on the mic or not, but there's one of the helicopters that buzzes my house all the time. I'm not paranoid. Boy, they're right over me now. Oh my gosh. Do you hear that? I'm just looking away at this. They're just horrified that this will be the next video from Roger in Kansas City. So I am just kind of thumbing through this at the moment, taking it all in. You can see how this almost has this Tower of Babel configuration to it, and how it spirals up. This guy looks almost like he's wearing a bishop or a pope's hat. Go down here. This area is all fairly intricately carved. See this big guy right here? Welcome to the gates of hell. I don't know. Well, I figure if they were going to get us, they would have gone ahead and done so. Doesn't mean that they won't decide not to. But these giant figures here, that's well over 100 feet. Everything here. It kind of leads me to believe that people much larger than ourselves built this. Then again, if you have the right tools, I guess you can do anything. Make it a little smaller here. It's just amazing. Well, let me go over here. Look up this way. This is something up here, but it's too nondescript. There's our guys over here. And there's the devil and his girlfriend. If I can find one thing, let me see if I can point this out. Well, I don't see it right now. Because it's it's blurry, but when the finished product, we see it pretty much in focus. That's it. Well, thank you for watching. I don't know what to say. Other than, there it is. It's always been there. And now you know it's there. I don't think it would be such a huge secret if it weren't active. And I think it's active. I think it's very active. And one final thought on this is that the plane crash was probably an accident. I don't think they would have wanted to bring attention to this area. And I think they worked as fast as they could to get it cleaned up and out of public memory. So there you are. Well, this is Roger in Kansas City. Thanks for watching, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.